Not all fragrances are created equally. In fact, some fragrances are so good that they feel like cheating in a positive way. You spray them on, you get noticed, you get compliments, your confidence goes through the roof. These are the type of fragrances that do the heavy lifting for you. Hey friends, Ash here, welcome back to Gents. Hope that you're doing well. Today I've got a selection of 10 different fragrances that are so good, they're like wearing a cheat code, if such a thing were possible. All of these are linked below. Let's jump straight into it with one of the most obvious answers of all time to that question, what fragrance would be such a code of cheating? But just because it's an obvious answer does not mean that it is not a correct answer. What am I even saying? I'm a word salad. The choice, Sauvage Eau de Parfum by Christian Dior. Yes, it is essentially the best-selling men's fragrance in the world right now, so if you're looking for something that is more under the radar, something that's lesser known, that's not this. But I will key you in on the fact that it is the best-selling men's fragrance for a reason. And it's not the best-selling men's fragrance because people hate it, or because it doesn't perform, or because it gets no compliments. In fact, the reverse of all those is the reason it sells so well. It does get compliments, it does last a long time, and it is extremely versatile. You can wear this stuff pretty much anywhere. Now I know some people would be like, nah man, I wouldn't wear that in summer, and that's fair enough, but guess what? Your average person, they sure are. It's a little bit smoother than Sauvage Eau de Toilette, but it still has that Sauvage DNA clearly intact. It has more of a vanilla backbone to it, so a little additional sweetness in there. Not quite as metallic, like there's a little bit of that, obviously. Like I said, that's Sauvage DNA front and center here, but not as aggressively so, and not quite as like big of a punch of pepper off the top as the original Eau de Toilette. The Eau de Parfum is that Goldilocks of the first three Sauvage fragrances, you know, sitting nicely in between the Eau de Toilette and the Parfum, giving you the best of both worlds. And if we're talking about fragrances that boost confidence that you don't have to think about wearing, yes, Sauvage Eau de Parfum is gonna catch flack because of its popularity. But if you want something that works just about anywhere, every time, that's what this does. And ultimately, that's kind of what we're talking about today. But I promise we're not going with just all blue fragrances. No, there's a whole bunch of variety here, including some newer releases and also some that are maybe slightly lesser known. And one of those lesser known fragrances is this from Mont, which is called Extreme Leather. Pretty cool packaging. It's got a nice high-end looking bottle and slightly larger to boot, 125 mils. So a little bigger than your typical 100 ml bottle size, a little extra juice in there. Juice. Ugh. I know there are a lot of people out there that when they hear a fragrance called juice, they're like, don't do that, don't call it that. This juice is a little moist. You can find this one at discounters for about 75 bucks as of this video for a full presentation, full size, just like this one right here. Unfortunately, no magnetic cap. Would have been great to have a magnetic cap just to really tie it all together. But they did do that typical slightly higher end designer deal where they put the logo on the inside of the cap, so that counts for something. Now in terms of notes, it is a derpified well, I completely missed the tester strip there. I'm the derp. But anyway, completely derpified 3-note note breakdown. Leather is indeed one of those notes. If it wasn't, this would make no sense. There's also orris or iris and musk. And really the notes that you want to focus on out of those whole 3 notes are the first 2, the leather and the iris. It could remind you vaguely of Tom Ford's Ombre Leather if instead of the jasmine, there was iris as the floral note of choice. But it has that same sort of smooth, kind of sweet, sexy, high-end, sophisticated leather note that Ombre Leather has. So it's kind of like in that same ballpark. Not the same as Ombre Leather, but one of those deals where if you like one, you'll probably like the other. It has solid staying power, sticks around for a while. The projection, not monstrous, but with this type of scent, it works very well. And when I say not monstrous, I'm not saying it's weak. I'm just saying it's not monstrous. Don't read into it more than what I'm saying here. I believe on the front of the box, it also says that it's smoked iris, technically, instead of just normal iris, which there's not a big incensey blast in here or anything like that, but it does have just like that little extra added bit of depth. It helps build out that iris a little bit. It is slightly creamy, a nice little touch of sweetness to it as well. Really, really, really well done fragrance. Not gonna be like your everyday wear, most likely. You know, it's not like Sauvage over here that you wear day or night, 365 days a year, because it does have that little bit of an elevated scent profile to it. But man, does it stand out. The next fragrance I'm gonna go with is a newer release, but before we jump to that one, an update on the codes. The Gift Express code is 15% now, so they've given us an extra 5% off, which is always appreciated. Any little bit of money extra that you can save is good, especially nowadays. Then some of the other big ones, the JOMASHOP codes only work within the JOMASHOP app, and those change every quarter, but those can help you save a little extra money if you're shopping there. Got codes for the perfume box, which has insane deals on cologne fragrances and designer fragrances and niche as well, but really those cologne ones stand out. And then there's also Fragflex, Max Aroma, Maple Prime, and more. So anytime you're shopping at any of those stores, use a code, save yourself some money. All right, the next one I'm gonna go with is Coach for Men Eau de Parfum. And this one is going to be especially so once it hits discounters and that price drops down even further, because we know the deal with Coach, right? These will hit discounters, and they will be a lot cheaper than full retail. Now, that being said, even at full retail, it's a pretty solid pickup. It leans a little more masculine, traditionally masculine, than the other Coach for Men fragrances that have come before it. And it's another leather fragrance. So leather is gonna be one of the main things that you pick up here, along with cedar, geranium, bergamot, cardamom, and a touch of vetiver as well. It's the third fragrance in a row that has solid staying power, sticks around for a while. A little bit similar to Sauvage Elixir in some ways. Sauvage Elixir, you know, it's got a really big pop when you first spray it on, really in your face. Coach for Men Eau de Parfum, a little bit more reserved, the way that it opens up, a little bit smoother, not quite as punchy with like the spices. And then it kind of has like a smooth leather in here that's like hand in hand with the cedar, with the woody aspects. The bottle makes sense because it's one that you could wear daytime or evening. It is a little classier than all the other Coach for Men fragrances. And this could work extremely well for a lot of people who maybe enjoy Sauvage Elixir, but they think it's maybe too much, right? Just a little too aggressive, a little too much. This one is slightly more reserved. The longevity is there, sticks around, but the projection is not quite as heavy as Sauvage Elixir. So with that added smoothness, but then still playing in a similar style, it could work really well, especially, like I said, when it hits discounters and you can scoop it up for probably 40 bucks or so. The next fragrance I'm gonna share with you guys is really similar to an enormously successful and popular fragrance that is extremely versatile, huge compliment puller, balances out like fresh, deep, and sweet really well, and just absolutely crushes in about any single situation you're gonna find yourself in. It's really, really, really similar to that one, but doesn't get talked about quite as much, even though it is from a really big, very popular fragrance brand, and that is this, Invictus Platinum. So it's really similar, of course, to Bad Boy Cobalt. Yeah, it's kind of funny, actually. They came out really at a similar time frame, like a similar time, and it was kind of funny that it was like, oh, these two fragrances somehow from two different brands came out about the same time and smell really similar in a lot of ways. In terms of notes, it's got mint, lavender, grapefruit, absinthe, and then as it dries down, patchouli and cypress. And just like Bad Boy Cobalt, it mixes fresh and sweet together in a way that people just absolutely love. Enormously versatile during spring and summer and also early fall. Great performance, it projects, it lasts a long time. So again, you get good bang for your buck here. And frankly, pretty much every fragrance I'm sharing with you today does have good performance, because that can help really get you noticed, and it can help boost your confidence when you spray something on in the morning and you know that hours later it's still going strong. So both fragrances, Invictus Platinum and Bad Boy Cobalt, would work extremely well for this list. So you could kind of think of Bad Boy Cobalt as like an honorable mention. They're both extremely aromatic fragrances. This one, though, I think leans a little bit more toward the fresh green side of things compared to Bad Boy Cobalt, but again, really similar in a lot of ways. Now, the next one is a cologne fragrance. It's the only cologne fragrance in this list, and I had to include it because it's a clone of a fragrance that I absolutely adored that is discontinued. That happens a lot, discontinuation. And I'll say discontinuations, it feels like, and maybe this is just me, but it feels like they ramped up how many things are being discontinued here over the last few years. Again, it could just be me, but it feels like with how many new releases are coming out, you know, there's limited shelf space at stores, right? Like, one brand can't have 20 fragrances up there. And so as they're coming out with new things, they're like, okay, well, we got to discontinue this to make room for this. We got to discontinue this to make room for this. And then you've got all kinds of limited editions coming out that are there, you know, for like 6 months or 3 months. And then those are discontinued, but it makes, I guess, a little more sense because they're limited editions. But yeah, it just feels like nowadays, man, that turnover for fragrances is pretty quick. Unless you come out with something and it absolutely crushes immediately, they're like, okay, you got like 2 years. If that's not, you know, selling crazy numbers by then, you're out of here. Sometimes not even that long. But anyway, I digress. The fragrance is Armani Code Absolute, and it is a very obvious clone of Code Absolute. So essentially, I mean, it's the same name, except instead of Armani, it's Harmony. Close enough, I guess. Oh, and it's Absolute. So that's different as well, right? There's a TE on the end. Color scheme, pretty much the exact same as Armani Code Absolute. And that one was a little similar when it came out to Code Profumo. Code Absolute as a flanker actually was just fantastic. Really good for fall and winter time. Great evening fragrance, nice classiness, but also really sexy and sweet. Big attention grabber that you could wear to more formal occasions and it would work, or you could wear it casually and it would work. It had really good versatility. Again, as long as you like sweet fragrances, because there were a lot of sweet notes in there. There was vanilla, tonka, there was nutmeg, apple, mandarin. Even interestingly had carrot seeds as one of the notes, which I gotta be honest, I don't think I've ever gone and purchased carrot seeds and rubbed those in my hands and smelled. But heck with it, smelled awesome. And there was also leather in there, like suede leather as it dried down. And this does an amazing job at recapturing that scent profile for cheap. So you could also use this in a way to replace Code Profumo, which also is discontinued. But you can also get the current iteration of Armani Code Eau de Parfum, and that is similar to Code Profumo and also to an extent Code Absolute as well. So you got multiple choices now to kind of get a similar feel to that DNA that was lost when those were discontinued. But yeah, as far as clone fragrances go, I love a clone of a discontinued scent, especially one on the cheap that has good quality. That's what this is. All right, guys, we got, let's see, let's go Iris again. I'm sorry. I just really like Iris, okay? It's Gentleman Eau de Toilette Intense from Givenchy. Now the new Gentleman Society Ombre is really solid also. That one might appeal a little bit more to guys like middle-aged and older because it does have like a very sophisticated edge to it with the way the tobacco comes across in that scent, but still great quality on that, nice release. This one here is a little more versatile, a little more easy to wear. And like I said, it's an iris forward fragrance, but it's a blue iris. So it's really made to be used, made to be worn. It's not as much that type of iris fragrance that's like for special occasions. You could wear it for special occasions for sure. It's just not that type of fragrance where you smell it and you go, oh, I'll wear that like once a year. So along with that iris, you also have tonka. That's gonna bring that nice sweetness, a little bit of a creaminess and warmth as it dries down. You've got cedar, cypress, cardamom, basil, and bergamot as well. Great staying power again, and frankly, year-round usability. I know a lot of people would think of it more like a spring fragrance, but honestly, you can pull this off about whenever you want. And it's also a decent, not perfect, but decent replacement for Dior Homme Eau, which is also discontinued, has been for years. But Dior Homme Eau, in case you were not around when that fragrance was big, or I guess it wasn't big enough, was it? But when it was around, we'll say that, it basically was like the original Dior Homme, that iris forward fragrance, but made cleaner, made fresher, but still maintaining like that classiness of Dior Homme. That's what Dior Homme Eau was. Until it was discontinued. And this one does a decent job at scratching that itch. Next one's pricey, guys. So, you know, look away, avert your eyes if you like only cheap ones, because it is an elixir. And you know what that means? That means the brand was like, haha, we can charge more for this. Haha, idiots. We put elixir on there. You're gonna pay $60 more. You're gonna like it. And to be fair, I do like a lot of elixir fragrances, so they got me. It's Guilty Elixir by Gucci. And they even give us a rinky-dink smaller size bottle too. That's just the best. It's great. It's fantastic. That's my #1 favorite, sarcasm, favorite thing that they occasionally do with Elixir releases, where they make it really expensive and then they cut the bottle size down at the same time. Here you go, enjoy. But then you smell the fragrance and you go, fine. So Guilty Elixir, this one is kind of like a mix of Amouage Reflection Man, not Woe Man, don't get confused there, and Pegasus from Parfums de Marly. It's like you take a little bit of one, take a little bit of the other, and crossbreed them, you got Guilty Elixir. And I will tell you guys, it might be a little bit of a slower grower for you. There are some fragrances where the first time you smell them immediately, you're like, I love this, give it to me now, drain my bank account. There are other fragrances where you spray them on and you're like, this is pretty good, but I don't know. I'll come back to it. That's what this was for me. Initially, I did enjoy it, but I wasn't like fully enamored with the fragrance, I guess you could say. But then as time goes on, you smell it again, you wear it again, you smell it again, and then you're like, the quality's there, the longevity's there, the projection's there, the high freaking price is there. You just really grow to love it. It's got vanilla and orange blossom, along with iris again, and amberfix, benzoin, and some fresh spices as well. It gets played out saying it, but it truly does come across like a designer fragrance that has niche quality to it. And if you're looking for something that has nice depth to it, nice body to it, nice complexity, all things considered, that's still a really solid summertime fragrance, and spring. It's better spring than summer, frankly. But that you can wear in higher heat months, this is that. And it is, again, so classy. From there, we move on to a beautiful gold bottle, Scandal Absolu. Stuff is absolutely fantastic. Terrible. I apologize. But yeah, really, really good stuff. It has a fantastic Mirabelle plum when you spray this on. A nice, deep, rich sweetness. A little bit like spicy flecked and a touch sugary, but not like an overly bubblegum sweet, you know, slightly deeper, a little bit more cozy, more sexy. Yes, it can be worn by younger guys, you know, it's got like a touch of a youthfulness to it, but it's not full bore over in that direction. Easily, guys middle-aged and older can pull this off as well. It's got a really contemporary chestnut note, sandalwood as it dries down as well. Great performance once again, fall and winter time, absolutely stunning. I think this stuff is fantastic. The only potential pain in the butt for this one in the US is that sometimes it's slightly difficult to find. Discounters might be sold out, and it's not available at retail. So like Macy's, Nordstrom, places like that, at least as of this moment, you can't find it. You can find it on Jean Paul Gaultier's own website and purchase it that way retail, but their website is kind of bad. Not in the sense that it looks bad, in the sense that I have tried to purchase fragrances from there before and added them to my cart, and then when I go to check out, it just errors over and over and over, and you can't actually buy it. So if anybody at Jean Paul Gaultier is watching this, work on your website, because sometimes it is an absolute nightmare trying to do anything on there as far as trying to give you money. Like, take my money! And they're like, no, have this error instead. YSL next, Myself Le Parfum. Oh, I apologize to all French people. So Myself Le Parfum, this one real similar to the original Myself, only it is darkened up, hence the all matte black bottle, which looks pretty good. So they've taken that orange blossom, which is very clean, and they've still maintained that clean aspect, that fresh aspect, but they've given it an additional like resinous warmth, a little bit of sweetness, slightly darker than the original, slightly pumped performance as well. So you have amber in here, bourbon, vanilla as well, those two working together extremely well. And this one would be perfect for fall, winter evenings, or maybe you live a little further up north where it's cold a little bit more than further down south. You could wear this in situations where you want that Myself style, but you want something that has a little more push to it, a little more depth, a little more longevity. Like the original Myself, this stuff just a magnet. People are drawn to it. And we're gonna finish with Stronger With You, Absolutely. I love Stronger With You, Absolutely. It ticks all the boxes. Like Scandal Absolute before it, it does have chestnut as one of the notes. It also has rum in there, so a nice golden booziness. Good amount of vanilla, lavender, elemi as well. This stuff is just absolutely lights out fall and winter time. Great performance. Very, very easy to get noticed while you're wearing this. And because it is so popular, unfortunately, you can't usually find it at a massive discount. But still at discounters, you can get it for a little bit less than full retail. Other good choices from this line, Stronger With You Intensely. That stuff works really well. That one sells more than Absolutely, but between the two, I think Intensely leans a little bit more youthful, a little bit more like sticky sweet. Absolutely still has that sweetness, just not quite as ramped up, and has a little more class to it slightly. And also the Parfum edition, really good. And even the original Stronger With You. So there we go, guys. There are some fragrances, a big wide range of different styles that are absolutely lights out. I wanna thank you if you're still watching here until the end. Thank you so much. Hope that your bathroom break was good, or if you're watching on the couch, hope it's comfortable. Stay safe out there, guys. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you later.